Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Your
A little sleepy, a little eepy.
yeah, your voice sounds a little breathy. That's not sickness though, right?
It's not what?
That's that's the dad in me. I hear your voice and I'm like, are you coming down with something? Are you okay?
No, I feel fine. Other than just tired. I was streaming and then I also woke up early. Like for me, early. It was 11 a.m.
Boo. Boo. 11 a.m. is hard, people.
It's rough. But also I've been up since then. So I mean that's something.
There you are. Well, this is weird. Hang on a sec. It's half my head and half your whatever your drugs you're doing. Hang on a sec.
Drugs.
Let me come here, druggie. Let me set you
This
straight.
is this is really why my voice sounds like that. I'm just smoking way too much weed to get by with everything, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Oh, the shit sucks. World sucks.
As one does.
So okay, a lot of people have been asking. They go, "Hey, douchebag, why did you decide to block Complaining Laney? And then why did they all come into your chat to tell you that they're tankies and go fuck yourself?" So a lot of people have been asking.
Everyone's asking.
Everyone's been talking about it. And I feel like there's a record here that explains why. And let me hit that play button to ignore the issue. Here we go. Woo! Okay, hang on a sec.
What?
How do I get you on here with just this? This is why I hate Discord.
Mm.
Can I invite you and then like stay in Discord, turn your camera off? I'll turn my camera off. We both turn the camera off, and I can just put you in, and it'll take 2 seconds.
Okay, I'll try. Let
Okay.
me go to Twitch. Twitch.tv.
No, I'm gonna invite you.
.com.
I'm gonna invite you.
.net.
Yep. Yep. So it's sort of annoying, but it's the best of both worlds.
I was kind of hoping this would be like the Internationale, but that's fine.
I just wish that they did a better job of integrating. They really do fuck you over with like it's too complicated, and then when you do their audio, they just like turn you into a robot voice, and they're like, "Oh, well, our audio sucks, so have fun with that."
Yeah. Oh my God. That clip of me
A
like
robot
turning into an
voice?
actual robot,
It's great.
that was wild.
We were all like, "Lady, what?" And you're like, "Blah blah 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 blah," like just turned into a fucking robot. It was great. Here we
Oh,
go.
it's so bad.
Stream together. Start streaming together. Okay, so when we get in there, here it comes, and invite guests.
Waiting. Waiting.
There you are. You're listed as a favorite, and you always have been. You sent.
Favorite in your heart.
There you are. So camera on. I'm gonna turn mic off and audio, like mute those things because we're in Discord. So you
Right.
mute the two things, and then
So I
turn your
put this
camera on.
Elgato. Good. Do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Blip.
wait. What did I do?
I don't know.
I tried so hard. Okay.
Something really
Not
weird there.
now. Join the call. Yes, camera.
I don't even know what this
It
is.
just
It's like
why is
floating.
it just keeps going to a black screen. I don't know why.
Fuck.
You fuck! You dirty fuck!
Is Jeeper Sennheiser dynamic for voice in games? Works quite well, I'm told. A bit shouty, but by default, so dynamic helps smooth some of the. Yeah. Neurotech, what up? So, are you having the same problem that Tofu had? Like, you can't turn your camera on in this like invite thing? Is that what's
Yeah,
happening?
so it needs access, but it's not asking for access. It's asking for consent, but it never really wanted to know the answer.
Wow. Wow.
Uh,
Okay. Well, never mind then. If that's the problem, fuck it. I'll just plug you back in the Discord thing. But that's like Twitch.
maybe I can allow it somehow,
Twitch
but like I don't know.
Twitch be wildin'.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like we're
Here,
gonna.
let me allow Twitch.tv. Twitch.tv can use my camera, and then maybe
Oh, okay. Okay.
maybe question mark if it's nope. It still
Nope.
doesn't.
All right.
What the fuck?
All right. Turn your camera back on in Discord. I'll turn mine on.
All right.
All right. There you go. All right. So now we're gonna do this. Here we go. Demahue, how you doing? Here we go. Guest bubble. Nope, not that. Different thing. Hang on a sec. Guest bubble nest. Here we go. Discord grab. Filter. We're just gonna have to build everybody up. Here we go. Ready? Watch. There you go.
Magic.
And
A little movie magic.
wait, I don't understand why you're. Oh, it's because this stupid shit. I guess I'm just looking at your thighs and you drinking your coffee. I don't know
So-
why this. Fuck.
I am wearing boxers. I'm just gonna say that.
Here we go. Let's see. Properties.
They're comfy.
They look comfy.
Yeah. Men's boxers are like the softest material. Like, why are they softer than like every underwear I've ever felt?
It's a way to
What is
trick
that?
chuds into like thinking boxers are actually good. Boxers suck. I'm anti-boxer, but for you, totally makes sense.
Oh, okay. Boxer brief guy
Just
or
nope. Next one up.
nothing.
No, there's one step between those two. It's briefs.
What, just a regular?
Briefs. Yeah.
What do you call these? Tidy whities?
But like never tidy whities, always blackies.
Sure. That sounds not great.
Exactly. Why would you have tidy whities when you're like pissing and shitting yourself a little bit all the time? Why? I ask.
It's a great point.
Fuck you.
I've had people be like, "Hey, let me take a look." Like I've had dates where they're like, you know, "Let me take a look at your boxers." Like there was a singled out episode on MTV where they were like Jenny McCarthy's like, "We're gonna take a look at everybody's boxers. This guy's got shit streaks," and I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I was like, "That's a thing they can do? What the fuck?" Like terrified.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't checked, but like, it is a thing that I've noticed before. I mean, just wipe your ass.
Yeah.
Men, just get a bidet. Like, shit.
Yeah, what are we even talking about here? Oh, I think I got you closer. I figured something out. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
I don't know. Like this is the reason why it's great to have
I'm staying very still.
the Twitch thing is only for filters. Got it. So what's new with you? What's going on? What's happening? While I figure this out.
I'm doing more art. I'm trying to experiment with new mediums. So I got like cold wax to mix into my oil paint, which it has been a whole adventure. It's been a thing, and it's not great. It's not going great for me.
Why not?
I've been working on this portrait of Bison for like 6 months. It's been an issue. At first, I used the wrong like canvas. Essentially, I should have put it first on a board. I put it on a stretched canvas. Had to transfer the canvas to a board. That is a whole thing. Also, anyway, also the cold wax by itself with like linseed oil and Gamsol, it didn't dry for like 2 months. It's like still kind of wet. Like it's not. Anyway, so I looked into it. There are mediums you can add to make it dry faster, right? So I experimented with those. Works super well, dries super fast, but it also thins out the paint a lot, which is not the thing that I wanted it to do because I'm going for like a very thick, like impasto, like sort of I don't know how to explain it. Like, do you remember
Try
Shepard
me.
Fairey's Obama poster?
Yeah.
Everyone,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
The
it's
blue
sort of
and
like that,
red
but
kind of outline, thick, sharp lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sort of like a color block
Yeah.
situation. So I'm trying to like have like clean, thick blocks of color, and
Okay.
anyway, achieving that is harder than I thought it would be. I have fucking marble dust and like 6 other mediums trying to like work it in, and like you also have to have at least 50% pigment, which now I'm doing math. Like I don't.
Jumping around,
Pee anywhere I
skipping like
want,
a
anytime I want.
dipshit.
Let's go. I think I'm adding it. There you are.
There I am. Wow,
I'm trying to figure out a way to bring you in
did it.
minus the bubble. Ready? Hold on a sec. Here you are. And then you come in with me and you're behind. There you go.
At the news desk.
This is our love line desk. We're going to do like a relationship stream thing, but this is the closest thing I have
Cute.
to bring you in. Let me let me do a color pop for you.
Oh
don't-
yeah, have
I
you
don't-
heard about Fetch?
Fetch?
That's so Fetch?
Oh, like
That's so
fetch,
Fetch.
like that's so fetch. I know that. I'm not that old. Fuck you.
No, it is a reference of the if you haven't you obviously don't even know. So
I guess I
it's
don't.
a coalition of Fem and NB streamers. It stands for Fem NB Twitch Takeover Coalition. No, Chat Hub is the thing. I had to make it work for Fetch. So
I guess
I could-
I guess I didn't know. Thank you for informing me.
yeah, Tofu is actually in it. And we're taking over all your jobs. I'm so sorry. You're a cis white man. It's rough where you are taking your mic.
My job though, a lot of people don't know this. I make my living opening pickle jars. I think I'm safe for a little while.
No, that's fair. Fair shit. We didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's. I make $5,000 a month opening pickle jars. So, joke's on you.
Damn. Well, we have hot sauce for that.
Done and done. There's probably like 20 people in here who are like asking me a question through their brains, and I just want to say this. I was an asshole for blocking you. I apologize.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was like,
I'm done.
I was kind of caught off guard because like after stream, like I went to it like message you about it, and I was like, I can't even do that. So I was, I was sad.
I was sad too. Just to get it out of the way, because I know trans women is here like trying to start up shit earlier, like, oh, didn't you block? Because trans women loves stirring up content and shit. I blocked you quicker than people should probably block people, especially who are friends and who deal with things with each other talking about these things, I felt awkwardly betrayed in like a really like piss ass boy way, and I apologize for that.
Sorry, piss ass boy.
Piss ass
So
boy
funny.
kind of way. I remember asking you short or long version because you were like, tell me about Russian fascism, and I was like, do you want short or long? And you said, give me long. And I went off on some tangents, and your chat were like, oh, who's this dipshit? Oh, he read one book, so he thinks he knows what he's talking about. And I was like, why am I still typing responses to fascist shit? So it felt weird. And then instead of just being like a normal person and being like, go fuck yourselves, chat making fun of me, I remember reaching out to you like, do you want me to keep going? And you were like, someone said something kind of like, fuck you, you idiot. And I felt like you didn't defend me on the fuck you, you idiot thing. And I remember just feeling like, why did I spend all this time typing out all this shit and thoughts and stuff? And I felt a little bit like not defended by you. And it, looking back on it, I was a little baby cuck. And I apologize for quickly, because I was like, are you not going to defend me? Okay, bye. And it was literally like two people in your chat who were like mean to me. And I was like, why am I being a baby cuck? So I apologize. I missed you.
Yeah.
You reached out and you were like, I miss you. And I was like, I miss you too. Like, why?
Yeah, no, I miss you for sure, and I'm sorry. Like, I think I also got like pretty heated. Like, I don't even remember, but like, I think I said some shit that wasn't in my kindest moment. Like, I could have been better too, probably, and clearer. And like, I don't know. I think I've looked into it a little bit. I haven't read the Stanley book, but I have.
Pee anywhere I want.
Like,
anytime I want. Let's go.
just tried to like look more into the history of Ukraine and fascism, and I'm still not going to defend you. Like, frankly, I think
Sure.
we may still have a
Sure.
disagreement there, which like I'm fine with, but like also like I still like respect you like as a guy, like as a colleague,
Thanks.
I guess.
Thanks. No, like literally, like when one of the foremost experts of fascism was like, "There's no more fascist place than Russia, and here's why." And I've read all three books that he's talked about on this, and to have like some random dude in chat just be like, "Oh, look at this asshole. He's read a book," and I'm like, "Okay, but engage with me on the 5 things that I just asked you about." And the person's response was basically like, "You're a lib," and I was like, "Okay, sorry, I like those things piss me off because I actually try to like form my words and opinions on those things, and I try to. I'm still working on how to synthesize like the 12 fucking different fascist things running this country from like South America, Chile, like." You know, all these places, I put a lot of thought into it, and I read a lot of books, and I was just like, I was also like 50% inebriated. That's the other thing. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fair, and other people may have been too.
I was fuck these 3 people that don't know shit about stuff. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. So like the thing about what's his face? Is it Stanley or
Jason Stanley?
What's his
Jason
face?
Stanley. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Stanley. So he literally teaches at Kiev University, which is
Well, he doesn't actually. He moved to Toronto because he's terrified of fascism, and moved to Toronto.
okay. He taught at.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that is a formative experience and may be informing some sort of bias.
Oh, I think you're thinking of not Jason Stanley. I think you're thinking of Timothy Snyder. Timothy Snyder taught at Kiev. Jason Stanley taught at like I think Columbia, and moved to Toronto or something.
I might be wrong.
Black hair or silver hair?
I just looked at their books. I don't know.
How fascism works or something else?
How fascism works, yeah.
That's Jason Stanley. Black hair. Yeah. Just moved to Toronto.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was at Kiev.
I don't think so. You might. I feel like that's Jason. That would very much be Timothy Snyder. I might be wrong. Fucking fascist.
Jason Stanley taught at Kiev School of Economics in Kiev, Ukraine.
Oh, Siggy, thank you. At what year though? He's been in America for like a long time. You piece of shit. My mods fact checking me. You're fired.
And like
Siggy.
in and of that self, like that's not an indictment by itself, but like that does it certainly colors like his take, right? Like his experience.
Sure. Today I was reading a book by a different author talking about Putin's relationship to Kiev through ways of what's his first name? Gumalov. Lev Gumalov. Lev Gumalov was he is one of the three main voices running through like Russian fascism today, and he is the one who built off space powers, like space lasers. Like he legit wrote about in the mid 20th century after being exiled by Russia, coming back and being like, I love Russia, and here's why. He brought back space lasers as a thing way before Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's just riffing off bullshit. She's not an originalist. People are like, that's crazy. No. Lev Gumalov wrote books on this shit. He built his thing off Eurasia with like space lasers, and his whole idea is like, let's put it in Twitch terms. Space lasers hit Complainy Laney's stream, and
Oh no.
they did. And your stream, and like pick 5 streams in your head that you love that also watch your stream. You tell people those 5 people also are the best people, and those space lasers only advanced those people, and everyone under those people in an umbrella are also based because of those space lasers. That's it. And then that's where you go from. He literally told people that like space lasers hit Russia in 1380 on September 13th, 1380, and they imbued
Wait, who
us.
did?
Lev Gumalov.
Right. Okay.
His whole thing was space lasers imbued a power, and the only people who accept that power are advanced species of human beings. But his writing only points towards Russian people. So September 13th, 1380, Russia got hit by laser beams that imbued a power on 5th generation Christians, because that's tied into their fantasy bullshit. Long story short, the whole idea of this thing is space lasers, crazy weird shit, Ivan Ilyin, different white supremacist Catholic shit, Catholic Christian shit, etc., etc. All these mixes are like what Putin's
well,
like.
hold on.
Okay,
Don't
going.
say just etc., etc. That's important.
Okay, let's
right?
keep going.
So like, here is.
I thought I was boring you, so I was trying to do etc., etc.
I think it's fundamentally like a misdirection to point to fascism that may come from the East when we're literally in like the falling Roman Empire of our day. Like, what are we talking about? For why? Like,
Putin believes that America is just a quote unquote Western virus, which I'm totally fine with. Like a lot of that truth, I'm like, hell yeah, brother, let's go. But a lot of it is also just like they are racist and homophobic on levels that you're like, Jesus Christ, this is like some of the worst some of the worst rhetoric since the Jim Crow. When,
No, like that. The Jim Crow never went away. Like we're so racist and homophobic still.
Oh, no,
I'm
sure.
equally afraid of being persecuted for being queer here as I would be in Russia.
1,000%. Stalin talked about 1920s jazz as giant black phalluses waving around their penises like a conductor. That's the only way that
I'm so sorry. Can you start over the sentence?
Sure. Stalin, piece of shit, by the way. People are like, oh, Stalin was like lefty as based and fucked. No, Stalin sucked. Lenin sucked. They were horrible people who did horrible things to their people. Double tapping people in the back of the head. Stalin was power hungry, piece of shit who admitted he was like, I'm going to do capitalism to advance myself to socialism. And by the way, my socialism is actually it's capitalism with like different steps involved. Fuck Stalin, fuck Lenin. Garbage. Both of them garbage.
They double tapped Nazis.
No, they didn't. They
In the
double
back of
tapped.
the head.
No, they double tapped everyone in their own government and their own people whenever they wanted to erase anybody. So, like, if I was in America doing the Stalin double tap thing, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I got Ted Cruz to do this thing for me, double tap. The people who buried Ted Cruz in the back of the fucking yard, I'm going to double tap both of them too. So now I am completely displaced and getting away with things. I'm also going to double tap this, double tap that. Like layers and layers of just like erasing people within steps, like over and over again. Like just horrible, horrible shit. Like a lot of people in like Stalin's Russia were just like soldiers trying to not get buried in the backwoods, like constantly. Just terrifying. Because if you worked for them, they were like,
this is fundamentally anti-communist propaganda, like CIA textbook anti-communist propaganda.
I will give you links and references. I will give you historians who back them on this. Stalin was a horrible person who understood how power dynamics worked and kept people on edge at all times because I'm going to bury you in the backwoods with double taps all the time.
I don't think that Stalin did nothing wrong. I'm not going to say that. No. But I do think it's worth evaluating the environment, the pressures, the historical analysis, the material analysis.
Sure. And I will give you anywhere from 2 to 10 books that you want to read, and then you can check the sources. And yeah, Stalin was a piece of shit. Stalin buried people in the woods.
Are you saying
right.
like he's like Hitler? Because that is verbatim anti-communist. Like that's
he didn't go.
right.
He didn't go systematic all the way up to 6 million deaths. He did torture a lot of his people to a lesser degree, leaving people in a constant state of fear of not understanding like where they are with things. He had people due to different, not just to the races, because he was like, an equal opportunist. He put down a lot of people who were like, just like different Russian sects minus the
equal opportunist.
Yeah, he was an equal opportunist.
That's
on putting
a
down
gross
people.
mischaracterization.
How so?
He was literally fighting Nazis.
Not in the 30s when he gained power. Not leading up to things. You
think the Nazis like just came out of nowhere? You think imperialist interests and like very
no, we're talking about two different things now. I'm talking about
factions
two different things
of that
now.
weren't.
We're talking about two different things now. I'm talking about Russia leading up before World War II, with leading up. Stalin constantly left people in his leadership on eggshells at all times because he was murdering people who were just doing their job, and he'd be like, you know what? I need to erase this history for whatever reason. We're starving people in Eastern Europe. we're doing a genocide to people in Eastern Europe through starvation tactics. And if anybody complains, we're going to kill them. There are endless records about this stuff. Like Stalin, real piece of shit. Stalin's a horrible human being. I think my politics are communism is great. Actual communism hasn't really happened in a lot of places where people think that it's happened. The things that we advocate for to better people and build people up doesn't have to happen with state of like police state fear, double tapping and burying people in the woods. The amount of people disappeared on and off again through areas of quote unquote socialism and communism, living in China for a year, loving the people, learning about the history. I would move to China tomorrow where we are right now. But at the same time, when people go, Mao was awesome. No, Mao was not awesome. Mao was a piece of shit too. Just because he has like some good ideas that we agree with, all these people chose to use their power in horrific ways.
How much Mao have you read?
I mean, a lot. When I moved to China and I speak Mandarin, and I had a lot of Chinese people who were like over like the age of like 50 telling me that Mao was awesome. I was like, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing.
Really? Why don't you fuck off? How about that?
The Great Leap Forward. Yeah, LeBron. Like Mao sucks. Mao sucks. Stalin sucks. The more you learn about these people, like they suck. They are horrible people. Their values that they pretend to have are good things that in modern world, 21st century, we should be like, those things are good. But we don't have to have all of these horrible things where I fucking double tap people in the skull and have my cronies bury them in the woods, and then I kill those people, and then I kill those people, and Mao doesn't have to starve everybody. These are. This
really feels like fanfic at this point, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, I would love to read all of these sources that you have. But
I will send them to you. I will send them. It's just like there's so much of these things where people just go, this person's awesome and based, and you're like, nope, they're pretty shitty actually. If you like dig into like the when and the why and the how and the bodies that disappeared during these ruling and like why did these people disappear? And then they look into that and they go, oh shit, it's literally a lot of like Stalin was a horrific person. There's literally a book called like Hitler, Stalin, and Lenin.
Let me ask you this: do you think that John Brown had some regressive ideas potentially?
Are we talking about white John Brown or black slave John Brown, who was more based?
100%.
Either, sure.
White or black John Brown?
White.
Okay. White John Brown, abolitionist. White John Brown. Sorry, what's the question with white John Brown? I'm more of an expert in black John Brown, who was a slave who was awesome and based and cool.
I was just trying to cheer us up.
The abolitionist guy started some
Put on
shit.
some old sad bastard music, see if I care.
Blue Room Stop. Beep, boop, boo. Beep, boop, boo. A lot of lefties love John Brown. They're like, John Brown, white John Brown is awesome. He's the best John Brown. And you're like, okay, well, he started a thing. It did a thing. And we talk about it. And good job. I prefer black John Brown. Black John Brown was like a fucking hero. Black John Brown was a slave. Got traded around by fucking Dr. Dipshits, survived torture, being strung up over a flame to see if black skin was thicker than white skin, which of course we know it's not true, but like to this day, 1/3 of white doctors who graduate medical school think that black people have thicker skin and feel less pain. Black John Brown was part of that. He was hung over flames for torture during slavery. He escaped. He got captured again, got brought back. And he eventually escaped to France, where he married a woman and lived out the rest of his days for like 20 years as like a a French citizen, like living his best life. Black John Brown, way better.
Right. I believe that. The question was,
sorry, yeah.
Why John Brown, do you think he could have been kind of regressive and like not totally like the perfect revolutionary that you would want? Do you think he would be like pro-trans?
In that time of the year? No, not at all. Nope.
Right. So like things are contextual within their historical context.
Correct. But
Stuff.
why are we double tapping people in Russia for communism?
And why?
Wait, sorry, you cut out. What?
And like sometimes revolution isn't pretty. Like sometimes you make hard decisions.
100%.
Like
that's why the Bolshevik success in 1917 was repurposed for fascist ideals like 40 years later. There was a party called the Bolsheviks who was like, we're going to take the progressive part that would happen in 1917 and we're going to repurpose that for our fascist ideals. And then they gained traction in like the 1990s under people like Alexander Dugin as the Bolsheviks. So like a lot of people who think that Russian Bolsheviks ideals is awesome and base got repurposed by Alexander Dugin, a fucking Nazi fascist piece of shit in the 90s. And they're like, oh, the Bolshevik party. And you're like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with 1917. They did this intentionally so people read about Bolsheviks and go, that's awesome. I love the Bolsheviks. Like in Russia, that repurpose, like that's the whole point. Alexander Dugin, it literally does nothing but like read about this shit and knows how to do propaganda. So when I have to argue with somebody on Twitch about like the Bolshevik party in Russia being awesome and based because of the Bolsheviks in 1917, I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child, you have no idea that the person doing this shit is like the Nazi fucking motherfucker. He's like the Hitler of Russia. He's the one doing the Bolshevik party shit. Like that's the part where I get like embarrassed having to like shout at people in Twitch who've like read like 2 sentences instead of like 10 fucking books that I've read.
I mean, the people you are talking to do know who Dugin is and are not Duginists.
That's okay. That's fine. But at the same time, when they're like, "Oh, you've read one book," and I'm like, you're not arguing with the words I'm saying. You're arguing with like the things that you just want to defend. And like, I literally asked like the one person that like really pissed me off in that night was like, what did I say that you can refute? And they said that I was a fucking idiot. And I was like, okay, all right, great.
Yeah, that's not great, you know? I mean, I would expect more, but you know, we all have our limits.
Yeah, no, like I said, I equated your chat that night to the reason why I was like, well, all right, well, I'm just gonna be a baby and block complaining lady because she didn't defend me enough and blah blah blah. Like I understand that part. I was like, I was being a bit of a baby. And I regretted it. And then I woke up and I was like, you know, like when you have those nights where you like wake up and you're like, I feel bad about shit that happened with my friends. Like if you like, whether you get drunk or something, and you're just like, I feel bad. I was like, I feel bad. So when someone was like, I think Siggy was like, Lainey misses you. And I was like, I miss Lainey. Ah! Like, but at the same time, I was like, I spelt out my opinions and thoughts in long-term form, and the thing that happens when you explain, as a lefty explaining to like chuds, when you explain shit to a chud and their response is like half a sentence, you're fucking wrong, bro, blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, when a chud gives you a homework assignment and you type out an essay, and then they just go, bro. They give you this much, and then you go, this, and they go, this. That happened like 3 or 4 times with 1 or 2 people in the chat where I was just like, these people are fucking idiots, and I don't care. And then now they're just being like chud loser Putin apologists, basically. And I was like, I don't care about these idiots. That was my thing. I don't know. And I felt
I don't think they're chuds. Like I don't host chuds. I don't keep a pet. That's not it.
Based on their words, I think they're fashy Russian chuds, and I don't tie them to anything to you because I just want you and me to be friends. And like, for instance, we all hate Samson together, right? Samson's a piece of shit. We all learned that. So we just move forward. You can't control all your
chatters. It seems like Samson was trying.
Samson sucks, and that's it. That's it. I don't even remember the names of those 2 idiots who didn't know anything about any history. They just talked bullshit Stalin talking points, and I feel bad for them, and they don't understand history, and we move past that.
Do you think it's possible that they've just simply read different literature? Because
I would like to know
I
that
remember
literature.
At least one of those people, and I know that he's very well read.
I would like to know the literature that he read that ignores a lot of everybody else's history on that part of the world. I like here's a homework assignment, I guess. I will do it. Find out if you remember. I don't remember their names. If you know their names, ask them privately or on stream. I don't care. What they've read, I will read what they've read. I will look it up and put the work in. I don't care if it's 500 fucking pages, 1,000 pages, or 200 pages. I will read the work. Russia is a fascist fucking shithole of a country that we are all getting fucked over by now because they are working on different ideals that are based in like anti-Semitism, anti-fucking reality. Putin like walked over Tucker Carlson with his like history lesson that was based on like none of what he said on that history lesson was fucking real. He just made that shit up. He has quadrants of Russian history that he makes up.
So like no one in my chat is pro Putin. No one likes Putin.
Okay.
It's not even close. They may be Stalinists. That's not something I'm gonna ban someone for.
I was talking about Stalin that night, though. I sorry, I was talking about Putin that night.
Just Putin. So yeah, I don't think they are all anti-Putin. They would like to see a socialist Russia again. Is the thing that they're on? It's
Sure.
not
Sure.
that Putin is good or anything, but our primary concern is American imperialism because we are in the imperial core, and that is where we can touch things and affect them. You know.
Yep. Yes, I agree. But when you have Alexander Dugin, who is the 3rd highest up in Putin's ranks of like philosophers, and Dugin's entire thing is like from the 80s and 90s, he was like, I will return Russia to a fascist state, and he's been successful in that. And when you have Ivan Ilyin and Dugin as your 2 main voices that are guiding Putin, if you don't realize these things and you don't read about these 2 people and you don't understand these things about this, and then you just go, no, Russia's cool and based. Like, I'm not talking about the Russian people who feel like oppressed by this shit. I feel like it's the same thing with Israel. The people in power are fascist fucking people who look at the world in different places. And Russia is a very unique place because they see their opponents as they see.
Wait, are you? I'm sorry. Are you comparing Russia and Israel?
Right now, yes, absolutely.
Can we just acknowledge that Zelensky literally said that he wants Ukraine to be a big Israel?
I've missed that. I don't know if he's like doing that for political reasons, but
Verbatim.
Russia and
Like,
Israel parallels are like 1-to-1 right now. So I don't know if like Zelensky is like doing a reaching out because he's literally getting bombed right and left while
it's
Putin-
not new. It's not just Zelensky. There's a long history of Nazism in Ukraine, and this is just an extension of that legacy, which it enforces NATO and Western power, right? Like,
we have a long Nazi history in America. Like this country sucks.
of course.
The people who claiming Nazism as a reason to invade is Putin propaganda. Putin literally says, like, I have to defend these people who want to come back to Mother Russia.
I'm not saying it's a reason to invade. I'm saying it's a reason that they're similar to Israel.
Who? Ukraine?
Ukraine, yes.
Oof, no, I disagree. Just because there are some like Nazi adjacent people in Ukraine doesn't make their government, doesn't make Zelensky and like
the whole government is literally.
Zelensky says wants Ukraine to become a big Israel. All right, Globus, give me 1 sec.
Thanks, Globus.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Let's see what we got.
This was pre-genocide, to be fair. This was 2022. I mean,
2022.
you know, many incursions in the Gaza Strip, but still, pre-big genocide.
So, okay. So this is 2022. I thought this was like today that I didn't hear about this. So 2022, why are we hearing about this suddenly now? For the propaganda reasons after Putin just did a fucking huge attack on Ukraine to the point that even Donald Trump, piece of shit, garbage fuck, loser, fascist authoritarian goes, that's crazy that Putin did that. Like he said that yesterday. So I thought this was in like
It is crazy that he did that.
It is. No, it is. That's exactly right. But like this
I'm
is
not
from
denying
like
that.
this is from like 3 years ago.
Is that justifiable? It's still an ethno state in 2022. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just interesting that like we're talking about like Ukraine's idea
A
was
whole
Nazis
apartheid state.
versus hold on. We have a bigger Israel with its own face after the Russian invasions. Official website Tuesdays. Ukraine post-conflict future involving armed forces in all institutions, supermarkets, cinemas, where there will be people with weapons. Based on that first paragraph there, we can't compare their experiences to ours in America. I'm going to give me 2 more seconds. Doctor, how you doing? Rest in peace, Ben. Who's Ben with 2 N's? Did we lose a Ben? Shit. Who's
An
Ben
armed
with 2 N's?
populace, not an apartheid state. That's the same thing.
Hang on.
What do you mean?
Where are we talking?
What you're talking about America, which is just full of militias. Hello? What do you think that looks like? An armed populace.
Which paragraph? Which paragraph are we talking about? Or chat? Sorry, I'm catching up on
I was
stuff.
talking to Globus.
Oh, Globus, you piece of shit, Globus.
No, I love Globus, but I'm sorry, I'm heated.
Because real comment has to do with an armed populace, not an apartheid state. In Israel, armed civilians, settlers, and soldiers are commonplace, and government invokes security frequently. Zelensky, who is Jewish, has on several occasions stressed the importance of maintaining close ties with Israel, which he hailed as a model for Ukraine.
Yeah.
So
You're right. Fascism has nothing to do with arming the populace and keeping every fucking building armed to the teeth. There's no relation. You're right. So great point.
So here's what I'm like, without reading the rest of this, I would say, so it sounds like in 2022, Zelensky had Zionist ideals and thoughts as a just turned into president of the country from an actor. He was a Zionist. And then in the last 2.5 to 3 years, maybe he has seen the problem in those thoughts as his country has been the target of relentless war and attacks for certain reasons. I'd be curious to see,
kind of like Israel, kind of like Netanyahu would say.
Wait, what?
Oh, his country is just under attack for no reason. No one knows why.
Wait. So as a stream here that is obviously like Israel's committing a genocide, we are pro-Gaza, pro-Palestinian people on the stream. Are you trying to compare that to the people in Ukraine being like Israeli?
Being Nazi, having Nazis. Yeah. Yes.
So this is the tanky mindset. This is the you like I don't understand how like people can go Gaza genocide is bad, but also I stand for like the Russians invading Ukraine.
Nazis.
I don't understand. I don't understand this.
I never said that.
I don't understand how you're defending like Russia like invading Ukraine.
I don't understand how you're defending Nazis. Literally, I want to be the big Israel, and you're like, yeah, that seems good. We should let them do that.
Do you think there's more Nazis in Russia or Ukraine?
By number? What, or
by
are we
ideology,
talking
by Nazi, by like the concepts running, the fascist concepts running through their nation? Nazism is running through Russia rampantly, thanks to people like Ivan Ilyin in the 20th century and Alexander Dugin in the late 20th century into the 21st century. The Nazism in Russia drives Putin's ideology. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. The fascist scholars are like, the most fascist place in the world right now is Russia. Like there's no arguing this. Russia with their leaders is a shithole Nazi fucking horrible fucking hornet's nest of like Nazi ideology. So when people defend,
I think there's so many more Nazis in Ukraine and the West at large, which are backing them.
Not at all. Not at all. That is Russian propaganda to a small sect in the northeastern part that they started this entire thing with to say, hey, those people are Nazis as fuck. So here's our reason for having to invade them, to save Ukrainians that we just want to like liberate from Nazis. Like,
so what about when Zelensky wants to kill all Russian people, all the Russian-speaking people in Donbass? Is that fine?
When and where did he say that?
He did it for years.
When and where did he say everyone in Donbass needs to be exterminated?
2014, I think.
Was Zelensky in power in 2014? He was an actor.
I don't remember.
He was an actor in 2014. He was a nobody in 2014. He had no power in 2014.
I don't remember the year. I don't remember the year.
He had
may
no
have not been
power.
Zelensky, but that has been the Ukrainian government's policy.
The person who left the country before Zelensky was elected as the president, he didn't just like show up and become president. He was elected to be president. Before him, the president of Ukraine was Russians used him as a tool. Outsiders in the West said that like he was a Ukrainian stand no matter what. That guy ran to Russia afterward and asked for like political asylum because he was a tool for Russian propaganda by Putin. He ran to Russia. He went to Russia immediately after like getting kicked out of the government. They were like, "Oh, this person's a piece of shit," and he ran to Russia. Normally, when you get accused of things of like being like a puppet for someone, like if you're not a puppet for that person, you don't go to that country. He went immediately to Russia. And the West, specifically Donald Trump, who loves Putin, loves to still use the false accusation that like that guy was very corrupt.
Didn't he
Putin
run to Russia because the Euromaidan coup happened?
Wait, say that again?
He ran to Russia because there was a coup staged by the West. Literally America. Like we did that shit.
No, he ran to Russia because Russia was going to protect him because he was a corrupt politician who was working for Russia as a Ukrainian, doing propaganda for Russia. That's why he went to Russia. When he was accused of propaganda, he ran to Russia because he was like, I'll be safe because I did work for Russian propaganda.
The Five Eyes quite literally they've released the documents about orchestrating the Euromaidan coup. What would you do? Would you go back to the West where they're actively trying to put your head on a spike? Or not that?
Who do you think shot those sniper bullets in 2014? Who do you think shot those sniper bullets?
What?
Okay, let me pull something up. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Here we go. Oh, sorry, ads. Let's see if I can get through these
Yes.
ads.
So the last president of Ukraine literally was like, your kids will cower in basements while ours will attend schools. Is that like, we should just let that fly, or
Say that again.
the whole thing?
The quote. Say it again. So
Your kids will cower in basements while ours attend schools.
So this is the person who ran to Russia for protection. So what are they referencing? What year was that quote? He literally ran to Russia. I don't understand. The guy before Zelensky was a corrupt piece of shit who gave Putin everything he wanted. The Ukrainians hated him. He was corrupt as fuck. So him giving any quote for any kind of thing is like, I don't give a shit, whatever he was talking about.
So the Nazi actor is not corrupt, but the previous guy who ran to Russia is corrupt.
That's you saying that Zelensky is a Nazi, right?
He is.
Okay. That sounds very Putin-esque. I don't know. Give me something to work off on that angle.
Man,
Give me something to work off on that angle.
I really feel like you don't like even want to like see my point of view. Like,
I'm not going to accept Zelensky as a Nazi because that's a Putin talking point. If you have Zelensky talking points for he's a Nazi and here's his Nazi things while defending a country regime that is led by a dictator.
the Azov Battalion was a militia, which he made part of the whole army. Is that not? They're Nazis, by the way.
Okay, so when you watch a Haas infrared stream, are you like, this is a based as fuck stream?
I've never seen a Haas infrared stream.
So these
in my life.
These are talking points that they used to accrue, like these were like bullshit claims that Haas Infrared made with Jackson. What's Jackson's fucking full? Jack.
So tomorrow,
Blah, blah,
if
blah.
Trump just recruits the fucking Proud Boys or whatever, the fucking whatever
Hinkle.
militia
Hinkle,
into
thank you.
the actual army, you think that's fine and cool.
I think he's a Nazi already. I don't understand what this gish galloping is. He is.
It's
a
not
Nazi.
gish gal, but that's a direct comparison.
I don't understand how you're saying like if he pulls in even more Nazis into his regime, will you not think he's a Nazi? I've thought Donald Trump was a Nazi for a long, long time. I don't understand what this comparison is. This is a bad argument.
Think that Zelensky's a Nazi for working with Nazis? I don't.
Show me when and why they used working with that militia. Were they using that militia because just like the Americans in American history, how much do you know about American history during like the Revolutionary War?
Decent amount.
Okay. Do you know who fought for black soldiers to be able to fight during the Revolutionary War?
Oh.
Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin, the old man who was
All right.
basically dying, was like, we need to have these soldiers, and here's the reasons why. The reasons why is because we didn't have enough fucking soldiers and we were going to lose. We had a lot of black soldiers, and Ben Franklin was the only person who was like, hey, motherfuckers, we're losing stupid wars that we shouldn't fucking lose, you racist piece of shits. Let's fucking go. And in this different climate, not a one-to-one comparison, he convinced the American powers that be to pull in soldiers that most Americans wanted nothing to do with. He offered them. He was the one who was like, we're going to offer them citizenship, et cetera, et cetera. The reason why it's not a one-to-one comparison, and this is why history is always gray area, is America won wars because they brought in people they didn't want to fuck with to fight their wars. If Zelensky at some point was like, hey, this militia seems to know what they're doing, and I have grandmas shooting people from fucking like fifth floor sniper rifles who've never shot a gun before, whether that's true or not, like, I don't know.
Stop.
I'm saying.
You are comparing the conscription of slaves into army.
No.
The Army of America to fight in the what? The
No, not
Confederate War, the
not-
Revolutionary War.
Not conscription.
You-
Not conscription.
You think this was willing? Oh, because they got citizenship. You're being so racist. I can't even.
The complete opposite of being racist. I was telling you that Ben Franklin was like, hey, you racist piece of shits, we need these people to fight or we're going to lose. And America fought them off until they were losing so many wars, they decided to stop being a racist piece of shit. It's literally the opposite of what I was saying. And the fact that you interpreted it that way is what I'm trying to say to you with like, fuck those people in your chat who are like, oh, this guy read one book, so he's a fucking like scholar. Fuck you. Like, that's like, you literally took the fucking worst interpretation and eliminated all context of what I was saying.
No, it's still bad. Even
no shit,
understanding
it's
the
bad.
context and
This
what
is
you're
history.
saying.
This is history. Of course, I know the fucking history. That's why I fucking said it, Lady.
You're saying
where I want. Anytime I want. Let's go.
sometimes you have to work with people you don't want to, i.e., Nazis. That's not.
Do you think America in the 18th century wanted to work with black people to like beat the British? Yes or no? Do you think British, like white people in America in the 18th century wanted to have black people help them get freedom? Yes or no? You know the answer. So
The
move past
Revolutionary
it.
War was for our control over the chattel slave trade. That was the whole purpose.
I'm not
Whether
arguing
we
against that.
conscripted into
You're not
this
understanding my
war,
argument. You're not understanding my argument. Lainey, you're not understanding the argument. No shit, chattel slavery was a huge part of the Revolutionary War. That was a big part of it. There were a few other big parts of it. I'm sorry. How you doing? America did not want to admit that a huge portion of their population was needed to beat the British when they decided, I've had enough. I have to fight against this oppressive British state. We didn't have the numbers. So Ben Franklin, old Ben Franklin, like fucking like dying of like 5 different things.
By the way, pro slavery.
Everyone back then was pro slavery. There were very few people who were not pro slavery. Ben Franklin was the person who brought to the fucking situation, hey, dipshits, we're going to lose. We need to give black people the option to fight for us. Give them a gun, which was a huge part of this problem. They did not want to give black people guns. Give them guns, help them fight, and they can have freedom. The rest of the country was like, fuck that shit. And for 12 years after he proposed that, we still fought that kind of shit. There were different moments in our history where people were like, hey, we're going to just do this not on a federal level, but we're getting fucked down here, so we're going to give black people guns and they can fight for us. Thanks. Yep, we're on board. Okay, let's go. Like, America, like...
So in Ukraine, the black people are the Azov battalion. That's the comparison.
No.
Just to be very clear.
No. I'm using the propaganda that is used by the people in power to shape the narrative of their struggle amongst the people who are making these decisions. So when I hear that, like, oh my God, all of Ukraine deserves to get fucking invaded because there are some Nazis in the Northeast, like, fuck that shit. Like, that is such an equal... Like, you know what? I agree when I say, like,
no,
yeah, there's
not just some Nazis. The government of Ukraine systematically cleansing Russian speakers.
Yeah, there's a ton of Nazis in the American government. I would love to have American government have a problem with, like, people who are Nazi adjacent not being in our government. So if Zelensky was the one who called it out, which, by the way, that battalion was in place way before Zelensky was president. They've always been there for decades and decades. Those people have been there just like they have been in the fucking South, Nazi adjacent 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, go down.
Yeah, they can just keep doing their little Nazis training for children in summer camp. It's so cool that the children can learn how to be Nazis. So their freedom.
Yeah. When you use a Russian talking point for a reason for invading Ukraine, when the point of invading Ukraine is to get Kiev back to Mother Russia, which is the only goal of Putin. Putin says, I'm going to use everything. I'm saving the Ukrainian people by protecting them from, like, the Nazis in the Donbass region. Like, that is such a just farcical, like, made up Putin shit. Putin also believes that Russians are from the earth and Jews are from the ocean. They're like mermaid type people. And we have to, like, figure out our fantasy battle wars because of this, because space lasers from like 1380 blasted and Putin has to listen to Ivan
never
Ilyin.
Endorsed Putin. Not one time did I endorse Putin during this conversation, but you're just putting that on me because I am against Nazis.
No, you've endorsed his talking point and his entire reason for invading Ukraine. He says, Putin says, complaining Laney, he says that the reason for invading them is because the Ukrainian people living in that region that you keep talking about belong to Mother Russia, and that they are using Nazis as an excuse to defend invading a people who live there. And if you look at the times and stories of night bombing, there, like, it doesn't work out the way that warfare works out. Putin is just using there's Nazis there as an excuse, as a propagandic excuse to invade Ukraine, and he's ignoring international law, which he doesn't give a shit about. He couldn't give a fuck about international law. International law post World War II, we were like, hey, this is bad. We should figure out a new way to do this. And Russia, thanks to the philosophies of Ivan Ilyin and fucking Lev Gumilov, and now modern day fucking Nazi fuck Alexander Dugin, the most Nazi motherfucker in power, like in Russia, like. People ignoring this shit and going like, oh no, there's like Nazis in Ukraine, so like it's cool that we're invading them. Like, it makes no sense. I don't understand this. Like, this is cool when these people do this, but we also hate when, like, you know, Israel's doing a genocide in Gaza. Like, Russia wants to kill everybody in Ukraine who's not on board with coming back to the amoeba-like state, which is what Putin says. He wants everyone. He goes, Russia is an amoeba, and we don't have to adhere to international law. We're going to just suck up and absorb anybody who we want to, because we are the one truth in this world, and everybody else is an outsider. That's the truth that they spell out, and they will never acquiesce to anything else. There is no dealing with Russia as like an equal person. They don't deal with American politicians as we're going to deal with you in like normal ways that other countries do. They deal with us as like, we are always the right and you are always wrong no matter what. No matter what we do, just like chuds in this country, we are always going to be wrong. There is no winning over with Putin. He views the West as pure evil, and we are like, no matter what, if we deal with them the way that we dealt with them in the 2000s and the early, before he was president in 2012, he was saying you can view America. What was his quote? It was something like, you can view America as a superpower, but they will always be something like, I can't remember the fucking quote. Anything he says is just made up bullshit. If you want to watch his interview with Tucker Carlson where he makes up 5 centuries of history, I will pause it and go over every single thing that he says wrong and just makes up if you want. He doesn't give a shit. He just makes shit up. He comes from a place where Russia is always correct and the West is always wrong. We are an amoeba of truth. We are Terrans. The West is full of Atlantean sea people who are not trustworthy because of anti-Semitic bullshit, so on and so forth. It is such childlike bullshit to like listen to anything that Putin says. And I know you're saying like, I don't stand for Putin, but like the down trickle of like what he says is what happens with Russia. There's no one in Russia who gets to say like, oh, Putin says this, but we're going to do this other thing. It comes from Putin. There's nothing else from Russia that's not Putin. So when he's doing horrible shit, that's Russia. There's no one going, you know what, I'm a based fucking Russian guy, political guy, and Putin lets me have my fun with like cool based shit. It comes from Putin. Him saying this is a fucking Nazi fucking area and we have to stand for these people and liberate them. That's his excuse for getting Kiev. Putin only wants, his main goal is to get back Kiev. He thinks that he is the Russian, he legit thinks that he is the reincarnation of the first Christian Russian circa 1000 AD. Because Ivan Ilyin wrote about it.
He anywhere I want.
He what?
Anytime I want.
Yeah. He thinks he is the reincarnation of the firstborn, the first Christian baptized in Russia, about 1000 AD. I think actually it's
Is this Radio Free Europe, or
I don't know what that means.
is it a CIA outlet, or is it a reputable source?
These are 998, I think, somewhere around 1000. Putin legit thinks he is the savior of Russia. Yeah. This is not some radio thing. These are historians and scholars and sociologists who write about this shit going, Here's what Putin actually believes.
Radio Free Asia and Radio Free Europe are news outlets, literally funded directly by the CIA. It's not a secret.
Okay, so every historian is funded by the CIA?
That's not what I said.
So I'm asking you. Yes or no? So if I say like
every historian? No, that's not what I said.
So
that's not the words I said. That's not the sentence. Do you want me to repeat it?
It sounded like a whataboutism.
It's not a what. I was just asking your source.
Lainey, it sounds like a whataboutism. I'll give you a list of sources. One of them is Ivan Ilyin himself, the one who was like Putin's main guy, who was like, here's how fascist leaders will take over Russia after the Russian Soviet Union collapses. Here's the blueprint for how my guy is going to take over. That's Ivan Ilyin. Ivan Ilyin, if you haven't read much on Ivan Ilyin, please read Ivan Ilyin's beliefs and books, and then read about the politicians who have written about him, sociologists who've written about him. He was a nothing burger for a 20th century philosopher, and now he's the most important philosophizer. That's a Bill and Ted line. Philosophize with me. In the 21st century, he's the most important philosopher of the 21st century. Ivan Ilyin, because Putin has decided that's my guy, because he gives me a stone wall of this is my truth in a postmodern world, and I'm also armed with nuclear bombs, so you can't argue with me. Here's my truth, and you guys have to deal with the bullshit fantasy world that I've built up. Ivan Ilyin is the most important person of the 21st century because everything he's written about is the things that steep, not just like fucking Russia. I don't give a fuck about that on a day-to-day. He's also the person whose philosophy has trickled down to fucking red pill bullshit. I have to deal with Andrew Tate because of Ivan Ilyin's fucking bullshit. I have to deal with all these fucking loser fucks in Gamergate because of Ivan Ilyin. Billy, that's the spelling. Yep. Ivan Ilyin is the most important voice of the 21st century. He was like a mid-tier, never met Hitler. They kind of had a weird respect without knowing each other kind of shit. And in Putin was I love this guy so much. He was exiled. He died in 1953. He was exiled from Russia. Putin in 2004 was this is my guy. I'm going to do a whole bring his body back to Russia, and we're going to worship him. We're going to eliminate actual education, and we're going to teach everything about Ivan Ilyin. Oh, I like this Gumalov guy who was also fucking exiled from Russia. He's also going to now, we're going to teach his thoughts about fucking space laser energy beams blasting into fucking different parts of the world, imparting some people don't. What was his thing? His thing was some people absorb energy from space better than others, and the ones who absorb it better are the leaders. That just sounds like a bullshit to bypass actual meritocracy. That's what that sounds like to me. Putin loves Ivan Ilyin, fucking Lev Gumalov, and fucking Alexander Dugin. Alexander Dugin is literally just what's up, Juice? Alexander Dugin literally just takes Nazi ideology and slaps fucking Russian folklore on top of it, so it's not Nazi shit. Russia is the most Nazi fucking fascist fucking country on the planet, and people defending anything that Russia does is absurd to me. And I'm like, here are 30 books to read, please, before we argue about that.
I can give you 2 in return.
Okay, I'll read them, and I'll read them. I'll read them, and then we'll talk.
As much as it's been so much fun to be yelled at for the last hour or whatever, I think I got to go to bed, actually.
Was I yelling
at you? My Uber is here.
Was I yelling at you?
A little bit.
Was I yelling at you?
I haven't spoken for 10 minutes, at least.
You have 10 minutes to yell at me.
I'd really rather not.
4 minutes to yell at me.
I think I've kind of spoken my piece here. I think we should be so much more concerned about American fascism, and we should have been for the last 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 70 years. Russia has been the fucking specter that haunts America. Like, let it go, man. It's not. They're not coming for you. And like, I'm not for death. I don't like Ukrainians dying. I don't like Russians dying. I don't want either of them to die. I'm not fucking gonna say that I endorse the Nazis, but I'm also I don't like Putin. I have some notes for Putin. I think he could do some things better.
I would love those notes
but-
for Putin. I think that, like, again, American fascism is worse. We weren't talking about that, though. We were talking about Ukraine and Russia.
But we should be. We should be talking about that. We shouldn't be.
1,000%.
This is a distraction.
It's not a distraction. It's a huge part of the world right now.
Our world is with Mahmoud Khalil still in jail.
Sure.
In our country,
and this
here.
This is a stream where 99% of all of the artwork is done by a Ukrainian who's had to move 10 times in the last 4 years because she's getting attacked. Ukrainian shit bothers me, and Russian fascism bothers me. We talk about
Ukrainian fascism bothers me too.
Bring a whole. Explain
I'll bring
it to me.
so many things. I'm exhausted though.
I
Have
will
a
read
great stream and a great day. Thanks, chat.
You got the morning sunlight in your face. I see it.
Yeah, it's bright.
It's coming in. It's gonna come in like here in like an hour.
I'm burning.
Combative talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a cooler one next time. Maybe we can talk about music or something.
Your music fucking sucks, Laney. I fucking hate you.
Fuck your music.
Piece of shit.
So I can't make you love
Thanks for Timo.
if
All right.
you don't.
See ya.
All right.
You
Bye,
can't
Laney.
make your heart feel
Something you won't. Blip. Me next. Get over here, you piece of shit.
You're not comparing yourself and the things you're doing to these optimized alphas or anyone
Chad,
online
Chad.
who seems like they have a productively maximized routine. Because first of all, there's no such thing as a perfect routine. We have butt cheeks. It's not that serious. And second of all, they're easy to fake. Even I could fake the perfect routine if I just took everything I've learned from Ashton.
We have buck cheeks. It's not that serious. That's a soundbite. That's good.
Because first of all, there's no such thing as a perfect routine. We have butt cheeks. It's not that serious. And second